Hey guys, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a review and demo of the Makeup Forever Water Blend Foundation. I know I'm a little late jumping on this review bandwagon, but I did pick this up about a month ago, so I figured, well, like at the beginning of this month, whatever. So I figured that I would give you my thoughts on it as a person with oily and acne prone skin, since most reviews that I've seen of this product are on people with pretty nice skin as it is. So I wanted to test it out and let you know what I think of it. So I guess I'll just go straight into the demo right now and then come back and talk to you guys afterwards. All right, so I figured it would be good to do the demo super up close to my face because then you can see how it like actually covers. So you just shake it up like you do. It's like the weirdest consistency. It's like watery, but it is gel, so it doesn't like run down your hand. Hold on, I'll show you. Like, it's so strange. So I like to start with like 2 pumps for each half of my face, which is kind of a lot, obviously, but since you get more than a typical foundation, I mean, it's kind of okay. And I like to apply this using the Real Techniques sculpting brush because it's like dense, and yeah, there's just a very specific way I like to apply this. The only thing that I have on my skin is my SPF, which is the Clinique Super City Block that I always use. And I just like to start by applying it to the center of my face and moving out. And I only like to like bounce the brush, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, so don't buff it, I bounce it because I feel like that keeps the coverage a bit more. This shade is definitely a little too light for me currently, but I think that once winter arrives, I will be fine. So that is essentially one layer on one half of my face. As you can see, it is a really nice kind of like healthy looking finish, but it's very sheer, so you can definitely still see through the foundation. The only other kind of weird thing about this one is that sometimes it leaves like a weird streaky consistency, like a weird streakiness to it, but this brush seems to have helped that a lot. And then at the very end, I always use a damp beauty sponge and I spray with my Makeup Forever Mist and Fix setting spray, so that takes care of anything like that, but I tend to have that problem with a lot of foundations, so I don't know if it's this one only. So I'm gonna go ahead, do the other half of my face, and then come back and show you kind of how coverage builds up a little bit. Alright, so that is both half of my face done. I feel like that side showed more of the weird patchy, streaky situation, if you can kind of see. So yeah, that tends to happen, and I don't know if it's like the brush getting too saturated or like what it is, because I feel like the first half of my face always looks good and then the second half kind of does that. But I still think that overall it looks very pretty. I am a person that enjoys kind of a lighter coverage though, but I still have these kind of peeking through, so I will go ahead and build up the coverage just a little bit on my cheeks, and for that I usually use just like 1 pump. I tend to use about 5 pumps of this every time that I use it, which is a lot, but again, it's so lightweight that you kind of don't notice, and I would almost rather do that. Okay. This sets pretty quickly between layers, which is helpful for building it up. take what's left over and bring it down my neck to hopefully match a little better. So that's about how it builds up. It really will not cover like bigger breakouts, so that's kind of the downside if you do have acne prone skin. But then at the same time, I feel like it makes it not look like I'm wearing a ton of foundation, so when I go in with concealer, it just kind of generally looks like I have better skin. So I'm going to go do the rest of my makeup and then come back and talk to you guys. I'm just gonna split this up into pros and cons so that I can just give you, you know, my thoughts in a more concise way. So I will start with the pros because might as well start with the positive things. The first thing that I love about this foundation is how natural it looks. I can just put on a little concealer over the areas that don't have enough coverage for me, but the rest of my skin just looks like healthy and just natural, and it's dewy without being too dewy, if that makes sense. But it's not like a flat matte finish or anything. I just think it's a gorgeous finish. Makeup Forever really does a good job with their foundation products and base products. I just love them so much. The second pro of this foundation, in my opinion, is the waterproof kind of claim. They do claim that because it is water-based, it is in fact waterproof. So basically you should be able to go swimming in it, whatever. I don't do any of that, but I do have very oily skin and tend to get a lot of transfer and things like that. And this really does not transfer. I wouldn't say it's totally waterproof or anything. I mean, like I put water on my face and it will kind of move around, but in terms of like sweating and just general daily wear, it is pretty transfer proof, which is nice, especially for such a sheer foundation. I feel like you don't really find sheer foundations like this that work well with oily skin, and this one seems to work pretty well. The third pro of this foundation, at least in my opinion, is that I think that this foundation is like pretty much impossible to make it look cakey, which is my least favorite thing. I hate cakey looking foundation on myself. It just doesn't look good. I don't know. It's just not my favorite thing. This one, you can layer up so many layers of this and you will not look cakey, or at least that's my experience with it. I do have a bit of oily kind of, you know, my skin's pretty oily, and some people I saw that have dry skin don't like this so much, so maybe watch out for that. But it just seriously looks so good when you put it on. Then all day it just starts to look even better somehow, and I don't get the weird caking like around my nose and like the pulling apart. If you know what I'm talking about, when oil starts to break down a foundation and you just like see weird streaks and grossness, like that does not happen with this one. So I love that about it as well. I will go into a few cons though. The first one is just that the coverage is like so sheer. I was originally going to kind of compare it to like the Urban Decay One and Done, that one, which is kind of a sheer, you know, product, but that one in my opinion has like the perfect amount of coverage where it like covers things, but it's still super natural. I was kind of hoping that this one would have coverage similar to that. It definitely has lighter coverage than that, but I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. Again, like I said, I don't like cakiness, so if I have to build it up, that's totally fine. Another con of this product, just like weird, I don't know, I feel like the shades of this are really weird. I am R230 in the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. I can't remember my shade for my the matte velvet one, but I know that it's gotta be, you know, it's like R30 whatever. I think that one doesn't have like the 2 ones whatever before it, but this one I picked up in the shade R250, and I feel like it's still crazy light on me, like very light. I don't know if it's just because of the sheer coverage or what, but I feel like the shades do not match. And I'm not like saying that they should all match completely, but like at least be in like the same family situation, like within a couple shades. I don't know. I probably could have gone one more shade up in this, but they didn't have it in stock and I was really impatient. So I guess that's also on me. And the last con for me is just price. I think I paid almost $50 for this, and you do have to use quite a bit to get the coverage that I like. So even for like a light coverage, it's like 5 pumps of foundation, which is a lot, especially when you're spending this much on a product, even though you do. And one more little con, if this pertains to you. This is like heavily scented. I feel like it smells a lot more than any other Makeup Forever foundation I have ever smelled. So yeah, sometimes you can like smell it throughout the day as well. And I don't think it's broken me out or anything, but like that's something to keep in mind. That is all I have to say about this foundation. I just wanted to do a quick little review for you guys, especially since so many of these reviews are already out there. But this is what I think of it as a person with oily, semi-acne prone skin. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like or comment down below or subscribe or whatever you want to do. And if you do any of those things, hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. So hopefully this wasn't too big of a hot mess express, and hopefully I will see you in my next video